Hey everybody, I'm Jordan Garza and welcome back to Unredacted. Hey man, I really appreciate you guys coming out, so I'm not going to waste y'all's time. We're going to get right to it. So unfortunately this week I'm not coming to y'all with good news. Over the weekend in Moscow, Alexander Dugin, often referred to as Putin's brain's daughter, was unfortunately assassinated this weekend when a bomb planted inside of his car. I don't know, there's some speculation whether it was intended for Dugin or for her, but a bomb was planted inside of his car and she was taking a ride in the car, and as you can see, the bomb was detonated and there's just pretty much nothing left. It's actually absolutely horrible. So I know what you might be thinking if you saw the title of the video, but I put this on the back end because obviously Fauci's a little more interesting, but I want to talk about this because history doesn't repeat, but it does rhyme. Now, you might be asking who is Alexander Dugin. We're just going to go through it really quick just so I want to make a really quick point and then we're going to get to Fauci. I promise. Just bear with me. So Alexander Dugin is a political philosopher and prominent ally of Russian Vladimir Putin, often referred to as Putin's brain. He's a nationalist thinker. Dugin issued his first comments on Monday reflecting the death of Daria Dugin, who was killed Saturday night when her Toyota exploded while driving the outskirts of Moscow. And again, this is an assassination in the capital of Russia, and this isn't something to be taken lightly. Now, when they say he's Putin's brain, I believe what they're referring to is he's somewhat of an advisor or just someone that he values his opinion. Some belief that, he's really the mastermind behind the actual war in Ukraine, or that he gave the biggest push, the biggest support of it to make it to where Putin made that move into Ukraine. But Dugin is an ultra-nationalist, anti-Western philosopher, helped shape Putin's goals in the Russian expansion, which ultimately fueled the unprovoked invasion of Ukraine. Dugin and his daughter, who was 29, supported the Ukrainian war. Both have been sanctioned by the U.S. Russia's FSB security service claimed they have quickly investigated the Daria Dugin's assassination on Monday, blamed the explosion on Ukrainian Secret Service. Russian state media cited the FSB in reports claiming Ukrainian citizens, along with a 12-year-old daughter, were responsible for the attack, and reports claimed the pair fled to Estonia. Ukraine has denied any involvement in Dugin's death. Now again, why am I bringing this up? Have you ever heard of Franz Ferdinand, who's the Archduke of Austria, and him and his wife were shot to death by Bosnian Serb in 1914. The assassination of these two basically sparked a chain of events that caused the outbreak of World War I early August that year. So, like I said, history doesn't always repeat, but it does rhyme. And this is something that I see as, is this our Franz Ferdinand? Or it might not be. What I'm trying to say is that this man's voice is going to echo louder now that he's going to have the weight of the fact that they took his daughter from him. And, if he had been killed, who mourns? His daughter mourns. Maybe Putin mourns. The country may mourn. His followers would mourn. But now that she has died, and he is still here to speak, and he still has that, someone that's referred to as the help shaping the goals of Putin and Russia's expansion, he has pull. He has some level of recognition in his country, and he's going to be able to now say to his followers, look what they have done, look what the West has done, look what NATO have done, and he's martyred her. The thing that you have to think about is these people that are on the opposition, they don't think what they're doing is wrong, they think they're on the right. You always think you're the good guy. I think this is from them, the manifesto. Exposed and destroyed by us, the manifesto continues. Our goal is to stop the destruction of Russia and its neighbors, to stop activities of a handful of Kremlin businessmen who have sucked the wealth out of our people and committed crimes today inside and outside the country. So the problem with these kinds of things is you always think you're on the side of right, and you always believe your ideology is correct. Speaking of thinking your ideology is right and then, having to come and face the music, Anthony Fauci resigning out of fear of GOP investigations from the Republicans. Now, that might be a bit hyperbolic, but I'm not a fan of Anthony Fauci, so I'm not going to pull my punches here. Anthony Fauci is Mr. The Science, is going to be resigning this year in December. Now, originally he said he was going to resign at the end of Biden's term. It's like these latest polls might not be indicative of what's actually going to happen in November, because he's going to be pulling out in December, and that's going to be right before the Republicans most likely sweep and take over the Senate and the House, and that's going to give them what's called subpoena power. And all they've been saying ever since the polls have shown them in their favor is that they're going to be doing investigations into everything that's been going on. They want probes into the origin of the virus. They want to do probes into Fauci himself with some of the experiments. They want to do a lot of investigations into a multitude of things. Now, this is going to hinder Biden's agenda for the next 2 years, which I have no problem with, but I believe Biden aside, we do need to have probes into the COVID-19 pandemic and the absolute hypocrisy that's been going on in the NIDA But let's read what Newsweek has to say about it. So, Dr. Anthony Fauci announced Monday that he will resign as the director of National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, the NIAID, after spending more than half a century in government, prompting Republican detractors to question his time following his perceived double talk during the COVID-19 pandemic. In December, Fauci will also forfeit his role as chief as the NIAID. Wow, I messed that up. December, Fauci will also forfeit his role as the chief of the NIAID laboratory of immunoregulations and President Joe Biden's chief medical advisor. Saying he wants to pursue the next chapter of his career, Republicans believe Fauci is leaving government due to the possibility of the GOP will take control of the House in November. Some of the polls I've been seeing lately is showing that it's actually split somewhere in the realm of like 2.5 up or down, Dem or Republican in a lot of states. But traditionally, when you look back at statistics, normally when you see the Democrats up by 5 points, they tend to lose, or it's a very tight race. So the fact that we're seeing like 2 point differentials, it's really leaning that Republicans are just going to sweep. And I don't know if that's because polling outlets are biased, or if that's just some kind of weird margin of error thing. Maybe Republicans don't answer as many polls as Democrats do, or Republicans secretly say they're Democrat even though they're Republican, because a lot of times, people feel like they're going to come under scrutiny for saying you're right wing, for saying that you even don't lean left. If you lean right in any way, people, they shrink away from that. They feel like you're going to be ostracized, because a lot of people are canceled nowadays because of that. Sorry, I'm getting off topic. Dr. Fauci is conveniently resigning from his position in December before House Republicans have an opportunity to hold him accountable for destroying our country over the past 3 years. Republican Representative Andy Biggs of Arizona tweeted. That was Andy Biggs, not me, but I agree, Mr. Biggs. Adding that Fauci will be held accountable whether or not he remains in public office. This guy is a coward, Biggs continued. Fauci gained national attention during the COVID-19 pandemic, including acknowledging having to stand up to former President Donald Trump's COVID-related claims to benefit the public for the sake of preserving my own integrity. Dude, don't give me anything about integrity. Fauci uncovered via the Freedom of Information Act showed that he said the typical mask you buy in the drugstore is not really effective in keeping out the virus, even as mask mandates were commonplace nationwide for long periods of time. Again, in your own integrity, come on, buddy. You're literally saying it doesn't work in private emails, and then you're going out and saying, 2 masks, 3, 4, as many as you can get on there. Anyway, sorry. Republican Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky, who had multiple public squabbles with Fauci, pledged Monday to conduct a full-throttle investigation into the origins of the pandemic, regardless of Fauci's impending departure. There you go. Hey, Rand Paul, nice job. I like that. I don't care if Fauci is implicated at all. I'm sure he will be, because there's no way he isn't involved in this. But my issue is I just want actual investigations into these things, and not just saying, oh, well, it was that wet market, that was the issue. I never bought that. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Fauci will be Fauci will be asked to testify under oath regarding any discussions he participated in concerning the lab leak, Paul tweeted. Former White House counsel Keeley Conway has claimed that Fauci, who has said the COVID-19 will not be fully eliminated, did not wear a mask in private White House meetings. And now it's just everybody just going to dunk on Fauci because he's resigning. But again, I have no issue. Mercedes Schlapp, former White House communications director under Trump, tweeted that there is no coincidence Fauci chose December as his retirement date, right after the Republicans will take back the House and immediately plan to oversight into the pandemic response and his funding of the gain of research functions in the Wuhan lab. Fauci has spent the last 38 years, as the, I'm messing up again, NIAID director, first serving President Ronald Reagan, first serving during President Ronald Reagan's administration, and ultimately 7 presidents in total of infectious disease, including HIV, AIDS, West Nile virus, anthrax attacks, pandemic influenza, various bird influenza threats, Ebola, and Zika. Wow, he's been through a lot of them, and I guess for the most part he handled some of those pretty well, but I'm not going to sit here and defend Fauci or give him any compliment. It has been the honor of a lifetime to have led the this is Fauci. I'm going to do it again. The NIAID, an extraordinary institution for so many years through so many scientific and public health challenges. Fauci said in a statement released on Monday, added by that he is not retiring but will continue to advance science and public health and mentor the next generation. Oh, God, please don't. Just go home. And go to sleep. Please. So that's that and Newsweek is just dunking on Fauci, but I liked it. So Fauci says he will step down in December and pursue his next chapter. So we're just going to talk. I just want to see what he's claiming to do really quick, and then we'll wrap it up. And I want to talk about one little thing. Dr. Anthony Fauci said on Monday that he intended to leave the government service, pursue his next chapter. Hold on. The announcement by Dr. Fauci, 81, was not entirely unexpected. He has hinted at some time he was thinking of saying goodbye for the last month. He was almost certainly to do so by 2025. In an interview Sunday evening, he said that he was not retiring in the classic sense, but would devote himself to traveling, writing, and encouraging young people to enter government service. So long as I am healthy, which I am energetic, which I am, passionate, which I am, I would do some things outside the realm of the federal government, Dr. Fauci said in an interview, adding that he wanted to use his experience and insight into public health and public service, hopefully to inspire the younger generation. That terrifies me. Don't inspire. No, we're not inspired. Just go home, write a book about how you fooled everyone into wearing masks. Please, just go home. It's a little bit of a Fauci ass kissing relative to the Fauci ass kicking that we were looking at on the post or what is it, Newsweek? Yeah, Newsweek. But let's just talk about one more thing, and then I'll let you guys go. I'm not trying to waste too much of your time. I don't know if you saw this, but GOP lawmaker Liz Cheney lost her primary in the last week, and Liz Cheney is just a establishment. She has been in politics forever, and the fact that she's actually lost her primary it's a very good sign that people are starting to waking up and saying we're done with these revolving door politicians. It's time to get some new blood in there. I'm so happy Liz Cheney lost. This is a really major win if you actually are anti-establishment. So GOP lawmaker says Cheney's primary loss reveals massive disconnects between politicians and Americans. Thank you. Rep. Andy Barr on Sunday said Rep. Liz Cheney's defeat in her Wyoming Republican primary battle against Trump-backed opponent last week revealed a massive disconnect between what Americans want and what politicians prioritize while in office. That's exactly what I said. People are waking up to this old tired crap, the same recycled bullshit. And I'm so happy that she lost. Like I said, this is just me just taking a little victory lap really, really quick. But she is just awful. One thing that kind of made me laugh is when I looked this up when I was looking for research. A lot of the things I saw. I mean, Liz Cheney is on a roll. This was last week. 20 hours, one day, 5 days, 6 days, 5 days, 5. I mean, she is just going off. Vows to fight Republicans who embrace Trump's election lie. From ABC, Liz Cheney on stopping Trump Pence testifying on January 6th this week. Cheney says she spoke with the Biden after primary loss. We had a very good talk from Yahoo News. Cheney bond with Republicans who voted to impeach forever. Liz Cheney says the new political group will target Trump allies. Gingrich blasts Liz Cheney for attacking Republicans after primary loss. I mean, she made sure she got herself in the headlines. There's been some talk about a 2024 bid for presidency. A lot of just her whining about Trump antagonist, thinking about the White House, anti-Trump. I mean, it's just Google's pretty biased, obviously, but it's just helpful for getting me, what I think what's relevant. But I just thought that this was funny. All of this, I mean, she is just on a roll. But like I said, I'm trying to shorten these down a little bit, and I'm not going to take up too much of your time. I appreciate you guys for coming out. Drop a like, a follow, share it with your friends. Help. Obviously, I'm a really small channel, but if you liked anything you heard today, if you learned something, if you want to argue with me in the comments, I will welcome that. That's it for me, guys. Keep your eyes open, your ears to the ground. Stay safe out there. I'll see y'all next time.